Well, we'll find out once after this video. All right. Welcome to Trimming Bowls with Savage. Okay. Alrighty, throwers. I'm going to ask for your attention for a hot set. And we're going to trim some bowls. I'm going to trim a bowl in front of you, and then I'll trim the rest. Okay? Okay. So put your bowl face down on the wheel head that's clean. Okay? And you get some squishy, squishy, squishy clay. Okay? And you're going to break it up. Well, not yet, but you will break it up. First things first, you got to center your bowl upside down. So the easiest way to do it is spin it real slow, approach with a finger, and it should touch all the way around. You see how there's space when it spins? No? Okay. Well, let's try this. How about now? Touches there, doesn't touch there. Touches there, doesn't touch there. You see that? That's not centered. So wherever it touches, let me go back around. So wherever it touches, you're going to put your finger on it and touch it, and then slide it gently the opposite direction. Your goal is to touch your pot or your bowl or whatever you're making the same amount all the way around. Okay? Yeah. So yours is going to be a little bit different if you have an oval. I don't know how you got an oval because that's pretty cool. Or if you have an organic form. So I'm going to do an organic form after this so you can see how to do that. Will you do me a favor? Will you rinse that bowl right here, this weird looking one, just in the sink and then walk it over here upside down when you get a chance? Okay, so I'm going to take my squishy clay, my bowl centered, break it up into 3 little logs, okay? And I'm going to arrange it in 3 different spots around the bowl. Before I do anything else, I'm going to add pressure to the top. Not a lot, but a little, okay? So that way the pot doesn't slide around. And I'm going to smear this log in. I'm not going to smear the edges of the log, and I'm not going to smear it up onto the side of the pot. That's just going to make a hot mess, okay? You want to keep it kind of mostly on the wheel head, but you want to give yourself an opportunity to be able to take it back off. Okay, so now it's on and attached. You can go full speed. And I like to do a lot of my trimming at high speeds because you're less likely to make a mistake. Okay, so you should be using a needle tool. Mine seems to have grown legs. Nope, I'm just bad at looking for stuff. Okay, use a needle tool, and you're going to slowly approach your pot and draw a circle. Okay, and then you're going to go inside that circle, slowly approach your pot, and draw another circle. The distance between those 2 circles should be roughly the width of a pencil. Okay, roughly the width of a pencil. Okay, I'm going to use 2 different trim tools just to show how to use them. You don't need both. You can use both. It'll make it fun and interesting, but you don't need them. And I'm going to make sure my trim tool blade areas are clean. Okay, these are called ribbon tools because the metal's shaped like a ribbon. There are other tools that are metal, like hoops and stuff, but they're like wires. Those are loop tools, and those ones are designed for sculpture, not for trimming. Okay, these ones are for trimming. Okay, so I'm going to start by removing all this excess clay on the outside. I'm going to make sure I keep my finger touching the bottom of my pot, and I like to make contact with my hands as often as possible so I know where I am in space. And when you go at a quick speed, you're less likely to make mistakes. You just sit there and you add pressure, and the clay shaves away. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, I'm going to rotate my tool and bring it in. I'm going to try to create a vertical wall against my foot. Okay, so that ring is now the outside of my foot. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and shave away some of this clay because there's too much on there. Okay, so I did the outside. Now I'm going to do the inside. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take my tool and start adding pressure. See, I'm using 2 hands, 2 points of contact, and work my way back in and work my way back out. And just sit still. Okay, if you just sit still, the clay will rotate around you. All right, so I've got the basics of a foot ring figured out, but now I need to make sure I've trimmed enough clay away. You're going to use your ears for this, okay? So if you want to know if it's too thick or too thin, you're going to tap on it and listen to the sound. Okay, when you tap on it and it goes dunk, 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 then it's thick. It's really, really thick, and you got to trim a lot more away. If you tap on it, it goes ding, 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 then it's thin. Okay, so a higher pitch means a thinner wall. Okay, so I'm going to listen to it. Mine's still really thick, so I have a lot to trim away. And what's nice about making bowls is whatever you make on the inside is what matters, because on the outside, look what you can do. You can trim away any mistakes you make. Yay! It's like having a whiteout for ceramics. Okay. All right. So does anybody know why we have foot rings on our pottery? What's that? Huh? Well, you could set it down if it was just flat, right? That's a really good response, but why was another reason? Huh? Less surface area? Okay. That's true. Do you think a foot ring serves a purpose? Oh, yeah. Okay, stability. Okay. So the surface area one was a good start. Foot rings serve a couple of different purposes. Okay. The first purpose is it's a nice place for you to end your glazing without it looking odd. Okay. So it aesthetically helps you have a natural end to where you're going to start and stop your glazing. It also provides a little bit of a stopper for glazes that run really, really a lot, and they'll run all the way off your pot. It's like a speed bump, okay, for really runny glazes, which is nice. Okay. Functionally, after your pot's made, is it provides less surface area that makes contact with the tabletop. So if you're serving something that's super, super hot and it's going to like burn your table because it's in something really, really hot, the foot ring reduces the surface area, reducing the level of heat being transferred to the next surface. Okay, so it also protects your furniture. Okay, so I'm going to just take this opportunity while I'm here. I'm going to try to undercut my foot ring just a little bit, and that's going to act as an extra speed bump for the glaze, because I love runny glazes. I think they're really cool, but I hate it when the runny glazes run off my pot and make it ugly. So I'm going to protect myself and my pot, and I'm going to clean up my foot ring on the inside because it got a little away from me because I wasn't paying attention. All right. You want to try your best as you can to make the outside reflect the same curve as on the inside. Okay? So now I'm going to listen to it. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So foot rings on. It's as thin as I want to go. This foot ring is too square, and square things on functional wear will chip and break really, really easy. So we're going to turn this into a rounded over ring. And I'm going to do that just by arcing my tool and curving it in and out. Okay. Am I done? What do I need to do now? Anybody remember? I already did. So last step, the shaving of your clay leaves a strange texture on your project. It's not going to hurt it, but when it's time to go add glaze, the glaze doesn't do well on texture like this. A lot of glazes don't. And your glaze ends up looking really, really ugly, no matter how good of a job you do. So we're just going to finish it off so that way it's nice for the glaze. I'm going to make sure there's a clean sponge, slightly damp, add some moisture, okay? And you don't want to sand your piece down with the sponge. You just want to hydrate it, and then take your finger and run your finger along the edge, and that's going to smooth it out, push those sandy particles down, and send the nice soft particles up to the top. If you don't want to use your finger, you don't have to. You can use the back of a tool. Spoons work really, really well. Okay, if you want to bring in a spoon, you can use a spoon. Okay, and you're going to do that to the foot ring. Okay. I always get in trouble for stealing spoons out of my kitchen. My husband gets mad at me. All right, so I finished trimming. I finished finishing. This is why we don't smear the edges in. Look how easy this comes up off the pot. I don't care if it's stuck to the wheel head. I want it off the pot and not make a mess, because I don't have to do all that extra cleaning. So my bowl is done. Ready for the fire. Okie dokie smokies. Okay, that's bowl trimming 101. If you guys want to feel how light it should be, come take a gander. Does anybody want to pick it up? You go pass it around to the throwers. Yeah, go pass it to the throwers. Aw. You want to say something in the chat? All right. And organic forms. This is an altered bowl. I'm going to trim that one much the same way. You just set it at the middle of the drawer section so they can all look at it and know where they're headed. It's nice to have a target. So, Luke, I'm going to do the one that's similar to yours next. Yeah. So there isn't going to be one. If it's an oval, you're going to have to decide. today Wednesday? Can't keep track. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I rinsed yours earlier. So when you go to open for a bowl, instead of opening and making it flat, you want to start to curve it once you get to the edge, so that way it starts at like a mini bowl shape.
So it's still open.
It's still open, but once you get to the edge, start turning upward.
And how do because whenever I open, I seem to like. I seem to sorry. I seem to like open it and it gets off center, like the middle.
Okay, so your arms probably aren't really well supported. Okay, so if you're opening, you're going to be just as tight and locked as you are normally. And do you open with just your thumbs to go wide like that?
Yeah.
So you have very little control because it looks like your hands are about the same size as mine. I can't keep my hands flat and stable and get my thumbs in there and open. My hands aren't big enough. So I do something different. I keep one hand out here, right? My left hand, keep my thumb up. I'm gonna come in like an airplane with my right hand and land. And then I'm gonna curl my fingers like this. And then I'm gonna just pull it towards my belly button. And that's a lot of control.
Okay.
Okay, try that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Savage.
Can you make the pass?
Oh, I don't.
Can't. We have no light. I don't know how this thing gets internet. All right, let me stop the stream so I can use my computer.